Hi, everybody. Boy, the lighting still sucks in here. There we go. I wanted to do a YouTube video practice with Kride and describe some of the things I'm working on as a result of my lesson with the lady up in Portland. The first thing that's kind of important that's different is we're touching all chord qualities every day. So, for instance, I'm going to do a C major 7 full range of the instrument starting on the root. Then a C dominant 7. C minor. Then I'm going to do C half diminished or C minor 7 flat 5. Then C fully diminished. Now, I would be doing these normally with the metronome, but I haven't bothered to turn it on. Then same thing for C sharp. For me, the one I practice the least is the major 7th. I've done dominant 7th a lot. I've done minor 7th some, but major 7th is easily my weakness. The dominant. Minor 7. And then half diminished. And then fully diminished. I'm having a mental block. I can't find the diminished, so it's B flat. So get that diminished and then go on. I go through all the keys every day with the metronome. That's really helped. I played a rehearsal for a concert on Halloween, and it really helps. It helped my ear training a lot in my facility with the chords. So that's just basically running every chord and getting facility going up and down every separate chord. Another very normal thing to have to work on is going between chords. So going up and down the chords is one thing, but if you can't go between chords, you can't make chord progressions. So I'm going to go first of all around the cycle going 7, 5, 3, 1 on dominance. Now the reason I'm doing it down is because I haven't practiced it going down. I've gone up and around the cycle. So now I'm forcing myself to find the 7th and go down. So I'll start with F. And dirty. This is not the way I would practice. I'd have a metronome going and I'd be ready to lock the time. But I'm just trying to show you quickly what I'm working on. So that's going around the dominant with 7ths. Another way to do that is go up and down. So I'm going to go up 1/7 and down the next, going around the cycle of a fourths. obviously that's something I can use a lot of work on. And I do a lot of work on blues. So going around the cycle is a great idea. Another way of practicing, which I haven't done yet, but I'm gonna start, is chromatics. So I might go, um, or even better would be a small pattern running it through the cycle. Um, so that's probably what I'll integrate into the practicing. So on a daily basis, what I'm doing now is I'm doing something based on the melodic minor scale ascending. I described that in another video. Quickly, I do the scale full range, then I do the scale in every mode, and then I do arpeggios on every scale note, and then I do intervals, and then I do patterns. So that's all the melodic minor work. Then going from there, I'm doing all the chords and all the chord qualities. And like I said, my major sevenths are usually my weakness. Then the next step is going chord cycling. So you're going around the cycle of chords. The last thing, and this is really what I wanted to jump to, is I'm doing transcribing. And I've done it before where I've written the solo down, and I've done it where I play and listen, copy, listen, copy, listen, copy. And this current teacher is saying, no, I want to hear you play with the recording, and I want it to sound like one instrument. Now, for me, that's going to be extremely hard, but I'm working on Lotus Blossom, the live version by David Sanborn, and I just love his inflections, and I like his tone, and I like what he does. So I'm trying to copy him. So let's see. You'll see what I'm doing for transcribing. I have it on. I have this on GarageBand, so I can loop it if I want to, and I think Transcribe also does that. And there's other programs that actually slow it down, but I don't need to slow this down. I just need to hear it over and over again. It's an E minor, alto E minor. Now I never come in at the right time. So that's the part I have to really start working on. What's the twofold thing that I'm trying to cop here is I love his tone. There's a center to his sound that's just raw and gritty, and I love that. And I can't really get that on a non-metal mouthpiece. I do have a Dukoff 7, but I tried that, and this just seems to work a heck of a lot easier, so I'm using this. But that gritty, I can get the brightness and the edge and the volume, but there's some overtones that I'm trying to catch, and that's the hard thing to do. The other thing is Sanborn phrases darn near everything he plays, and he phrases it in interesting different ways. So that's what I'm trying to capture as much as anything else, because if you can take a melody and phrase it many different ways, it's going to be interesting rather than just playing it the same way every time. And he does that he does this so that ba da da an approach. So there's a lot of mini scoops in there. There's a lot of whoa, something just dinged. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on. That's mainly that's my hour plus of saxophone. I'm doing work on the melodic minor scale, ascending with the modes, and then I'm going to chord qualities work where I'm just working in one each chord. And there's obviously many variations on this exercise you can do, and many things you can do from this. So then chord qualities. And what I'm noticing, it's funny, every time I start practicing something, I notice that something changes on the gig in a good way. All of a sudden, I have phrasing I didn't have before. I have more interesting lines because it's really easy to get in a rut. I mean, I've played in the same band for a long time, and it's easy just to mail in your solo and play the same thing on the same song the same way for 5 years, 10 years. I've been with these guys 18 years now, but they know me by now and they know that everything changes. I mean, I really do integrate things as I learn them, and my level of playing has definitely changed over the years. But that's my goal. I'm trying to give myself as many tools, as much harmonic knowledge and muscle memory knowledge as I can, so I can react and play with in many situations. I played in a kind of a churchy thing last night. We're doing a Halloween party, and we played "Coming Home Baby," and they were all blown away because I guess the horn players they play with don't have the time, don't have the inflections, and don't have some of the harmonic things that I do on that song. So, from their point of view, wow, this guy's incredible. And from my point of view, there's so many things I have to learn. It's not even funny. But the deal is to get better. I'm very, very grateful that over time I see my level changing, and there's things I can do I couldn't do a year ago, and there's awarenesses I have in music I didn't have before. And the more ear training I do, the more subtleties I pick up in Sanborn's sound. And I think I think we all kind of settle in on somebody we really, really like. And for me, it's David Sanborn. For you, it might be Cannonball, Kenny Garrett, all incredible players and well worth just jumping into the world and grabbing everything you can. And I picked Lotus Blossom for an easy solo. I didn't want something crazy. I wanted something easy enough that I could grab the inflections and grab what he's doing. And later on, he does some faster runs, but they all stay within one scale. So it's kind of easy to grab them. But the timing is everything. I mean, he is a master at coming in just a 16th ahead or a 16th behind or an accent on an odd beat. I mean, he really does keep my interest. And I think there's a reason he's had a 40-year career, in the public and just doing well on his own as a solo artist. And I think his phrasing and his tone is a great deal to do with that. Anyway, thanks for coming to practice with K Ride. This is a window into what I'm practicing. I'll probably do things in more detail as time goes on and show you things a little more of a depth. But get your horn out and practice something. Write down the things you intend on doing. Write down your goals. Like you might say, I want to go around the cycle of fourths doing this pattern at 100 with no mistakes. That might be a goal. Or I might want to memorize this portion of music playing along with it with no mistakes. That might be a goal. Or you might have a longer term goal saying by this time, 6 months from now, I want to have 10 songs memorized in three keys or whatever you have to do. Ideally, I think your goal should aim toward whatever you perceive your major mission in music to be. And that's probably a whole nother video, but I'm real clear what I want to do. I want to play vocal based soulful jazz type music, and I want to do it interestingly enough so the jazz guys don't roll their eyes and go, "This sucks." And I want to do it from a pop standpoint, interesting enough so I don't have an audience of three guys at a coffee shop. Anyway, that's my musical goal, and I'm clear on it. Now, it may not be a great goal, may not be the right goal, but at least I have something I'm working toward that I'm very clear about. At this point in my life, I don't have to take gigs and I don't have to go out and be anything I don't want to be. I can pretty much settle into stuff that comes to me. Anyway, I'm happy to answer questions. Practice with K Ride. You can get me through YouTube, and we can get a private chat going if you want to. I do teach. I've got a few private students here. I view my teaching, I'm pretty good up to an intermediate level as far as a student. But what you get from me is what you're paying me, you're getting the hundreds of dollars of information that comes through me from some really good teachers. I've had some great teachers over the years, and I spread that information around and try and make it accessible so other people can use it. All right, guys, thank you. Take care.